The first form of telling time was the sundial. Sundials indicate the time by casting a shadow onto a surface. But sundials have their limitations too. Obviously, they require the sun to shine, so they don't work at all when it is cloudy or during the night when it's dark, which encourage the use of other techniques for measuring and displaying time. Water clock. Water clock is any timepiece in which time is measured by regulated flow of water either into or out from a vessel. This vessel has markings that are used to show the passing of time. This wasn't the most reliable though, not least because their clock would freeze if the temperature dropped below zero. Other similar time measurement devices used were candle clock. Candle clock. A candle clock is a thin candle with consistently spaced marking that when burned indicate the passing of time. While no longer used today, candle clocks provide an effective way to tell time indoors, at night or on a cloudy day. Hourglass. Hourglasses contain two glass bulbs connected vertically by narrow neck that allows fine sand to pour through a tiny hole from the upper bulb to lower one at a constant rate. That's why it is also known as sand clock in ancient times. In the 13th century, the mechanical clock was invented, which sparked a big change in traditional timekeeping methods. This modern clock uses a pendulum which swings back and forth in a precise time interval dependent on its length, which drives clock's entire mechanism. Quartz clock. The first quartz clock was built in 1927 by Warren Morrison and J.W. Horton. It is the world's most widely used timekeeping technology, used in most clocks and watches, computers and other appliances that keep time.
Do you know what I was playing? I was playing a piano. I am Ananya from NN Dalmia High School from 3rd F and today is our Nirmaan exhibition. I have picked a topic of invention of piano. Now let's learn something about invention of piano. The piano was invented by Bartolomeo Cristofori. He was born in 1655 in Italy. At the age of 33, he was employed by the prince as a musical instrument technician and he was also a musical instrument inventor. He began to invent piano in 1698 and the first document was recorded in 1700. Do you know what was the first name of piano? The first name of piano was clavicembalo, called piano a forte. It means the instrument that can play loud and soft music. Now it is called as piano. Friends, this is the first model of piano which is made up of wood, but it was not durable. Nowadays, piano is made up of ivory which looks good and is durable. Now come on friends, let's learn some amazing facts about piano. Do you know piano has 88 keys in it? The proper function of hammer loud music and high or low tone. Now the piano has iron cast frames that gives loud music. In olden pianos there were only 16 tones, but now there are 30 tones. Friends, now meet Lydian Nadaswaram. He is one of the top piano players and he is only 15 years old. He is only 15 years old. He is the youngest and fastest piano player in the world. I hope you liked the information that I shared, and I think some of you will start learning piano.
History of clothing and schools. What is history? History is the study of past. The first topic of the project is history of clothing. We need clothes for protecting ourselves from the bad weather and covering our whole body. This is evolution of clothes. In the ancient times, the people started hunting the animals and made their clothes made up of animal skin. After that, they started how to stitch the clothes. So they started to sewing, netting and crocheting. Now, as you can see, this is cultural clothes. The clothes are also depending to their cultures. These are for Indians and these are for Africans. This is modern times clothes. These are for men and these are for women. Now, the second topic of the project is history of schools. The schools are for the students to gain knowledge. In the ancient times, the schools were called as the Gurukuls. There were no formal schools. The main motive of the Gurukuls is to teach how to live one's life. Now, as you can see, this is modern times school. It is also well structured. There are many boards in the modern times. For example, ICSE, CBSE, SSC, etc. In the modern times, there are many subjects. For example, mathematics, English, Hindi, science, etc. The main rule of the modern schools are to wear proper iron uniforms, belts, ID cards, shoes, socks, etc. Of cooking. Cooking has involved many time on history. When humans was born, they did not knew how to cook, so they eat everything in raw. But then they learned about fire. And started cooking their food in fire, directly like this. After few years, they learned about man-made burners and earthen and utensils made of soil. This was the proper cooking. Then there was improvement cooking of gas and gas burners, which made of iron, steel and copper. Then now there is too much advanced ways of cooking like inductions, heaters and etc. This was the history of cooking.
Of wheels. Now this is a stone wheel. In earlier times, people were getting very difficulty to travel one place to another. So they invented one wheel, which is stone wheel. It is very heavy in weight. Now in the second page, as you can see, it is a primitive wheel. Primitive wheels are those wheels which were invented earlier times. Now there are modern wheels. Modern wheels are those wheels which is invented nowadays. Now these are the water waves. There are many types of transports. For example, roadways, waterways and airways. Thus it is.
Smart city is a place where traditional services are made more flexible and efficient with the use of information and technology. This will improve the operations for the benefit of its citizen.
Some important things which are required for a smart city are transportation, health, hospital and environment. To improve the life for people living and working in the city.
In a smart city model, we have shown residential area, garden, hospital, better roads with traffic signal and lights.
Road. In smart city, road should be broad with proper marking. It also have traffic signals, street lights for the people can communicate without traffic and pollution.
In a smart city model, residential area should be planned well so that it is connected with roads and garden.
Garden is full of greenery where children can relax and where children can play and parents can relax.
In a smart city, hospital is very important. So, hospital should be open 24/7. Hope you like our smart city model.
Lighting. This is my model. Sun is the most important natural source of light. Later on, flame was discovered in ancient period. After discovering of flame, all lamp was found around 15,000 years ago. Soon these were replaced by wax candles. In 1790s, gas light technology spread quickly. In 1879, Thomas Edison invented first electric light. Eventually, sodium lamp, halogen lamp, and fluorescent lamp were discovered. LED lamp bulb came in 2011 and are certainly in use. Solar panels are quite promising in future.
Is a result of the works of many people. In the race for the first patent for invention of the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell beat Elisha Gray in 1876. Almond B. Strowger revolutionized telephone technology.
by inventing the patented Strogger switch. It was the first commercially successful telephone exchange system. Eventually, the rotary telephone was invented too. Between 1960s and 1980s, exponential developments took place and touch tone dialing hit the market. The mobile technology evolved. In 1990s, with the boom of internet, the mobile phones market spawned. Today we have every solution within our mobile phones. And my mobile phone is ready.
This project history of clock. So what is a clock? A clock is our instrument to measure, keep and indicate time. The oldest clock was in the world created in the year 1386. The first ever mechanical alarm clock was invented in the year 1787 by a clockmaker Levi Hutchins. Peter Henlin, a clocksmith and a clockmaker of Nuremberg, Germany, is the inventor of the world's first watch. Different types of clock were invented in the different passage of time. First what? Sundials, water clock, pendulum clock, then electric clock, modern clock and digital clock.
In the Nirmaan exhibition, my topic is evolution of shelters. Shelter is very important for all living beings. Shelter is a place where animals and all living beings can stay safe and secure. Today we will talk about human shelters. In old times, humans lived in caves. Caves were when the people started to travel one place to another, humans started to build huts and tents. Huts and tents were easy to build and carry one place to another. But the huts and tents were not strong. When the people think to live one place only, so the people started to build houses. Houses were made of bricks, stones and mud. And houses were very strong. When the people were facing the shortage of land, humans started to build concrete buildings. Concrete buildings are big and concrete buildings are made of metal and concrete. When the humans started to build concrete buildings, the human destroyed the jungles and the natural habitat of other living beings.
The measurement of time began with the sundial in ancient Egypt. The sundial was designed to read time by the sun's shadow. In fact, until 19th century, sundials were also used to reset mechanical clock. In Jantar Mantar, we have the world's largest sundial. This is a sand clock. A sand clock. The fine sand flows from the narrow neck of the glass chamber, and the amount of sand flows shows the passage of time by the markings made on the glass chamber. This is a candle-based time. The ancient Chinese used the candle to tell the time.
When the candle is burned, the marking shows the passage of time. Then came the invention of pendulum clock in 17th century. In 17th century, Galileo had the idea of a swinging bob to regulate the motion of time-telling device. This is an analog clock. An analog clock has rotating hands to tell the time. There are 2 hands and sometimes also 3 hands. 2 hands has minutes and hours, and the third hand also has seconds. This is a digital clock. A digital clock shows the time by numerical digits, not by hands or a dial. Digital clocks are often also associated with LED and LCD display. Digital clocks are easy to read exact time. Nowadays, mobile phones are commonly used to read time. Latest smart wristwatches does not only shows time, but they also shows heart rate, pulse rate, and step countings, etc.
Microwave. Nowadays, you can't imagine a kitchen without these appliances. There's a microwave in almost every home, being used for heating everything and now also for cooking food. Do you know how microwave came into existence? It was invented by Percy Spencer in 1945. He was working on powered radar set when he noticed that a chocolate bar that he had in his pocket was melting. He explored popcorns to microwave and they popped. He turned the whole egg and it exploded. Then he attached a high density electromagnetic field generator to an enclosed metal box and experimented on food that way, which allowed the whole controlled and safe experimentation. It was first used in 1946 in restaurants and for reheating meats on aeroplanes during those times. They were massive and expensive appliances. Nowadays, there are variety of microwaves available in market like solo microwave oven, grill microwave oven, convection microwave oven, and can even be controlled by internet and mobile phones. This is a version of old microwave and this is a version of new microwave. Microwaves are used for reheating, baking, roasting, boiling and steaming and have provided to be a great help in household. Hope this has given you a good insight about microwave history and its invention.
History of cookware. Cookware is an important element of cooking food. Stone Age man ate raw food, so there was no need of utensil then. Throughout the evolution of man, he has used different methods and materials for cooking. With the discovery of fire, man started to cook food. Hence, the need of cookware came into existence. In early days, stone and clay cookware were used predominantly. With changes, time and new discoveries like copper, iron, bronze, steel, and non-stick came as a part of preparing food. Today, I will tell you about
few of them. Clay pot. Cooking in clay pots was very easy, and making clay pot was even easier. It has many benefits too. Cooking in a clay pot is much better than in any other metal vessels. It makes cooking process simple. The porosity of clay causes heat and moisture to circulate throughout the pot. Copper pot. Copper is a malleable metal with high thermal conductivity. Copper utensils were used to transmit energy and preserve clean water. Copper helps in improving digestion, improve thyroid function, build immunity, and few more. Brass pots. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. Health benefits of using brass utensils are: it prevents abdominal infection, it aids digestion. As zinc is present in brass, it helps to purify blood and absorb nutrients from food. Iron. Iron utensils are cheaper than copper and brass. The benefit of using using iron cookware are: it is a tough metal too, so does not get damaged easily. Food stay hot for a longer time in it. Iron is also needed by our body, which is also transmitted through cookware. Cookware has come a long way in history and played important role in evolution of humans.
The Vedas meaning knowledge and mathematics meaning science of calculations. So Vedic math means mathematics from Vedas. India has a rich, diverse, intellectual history and has produced great mathematicians. Vedic math is a gift given to this world by the ancient sages of India. It is a system which is far more simple and enjoyable than modern mathematics. Vedic math is based on 16 basic sutras derived from Vedas. It was rediscovered and presented by a Hindu scholar and a great mathematician, Bharati Krishna Tirthaji Maharaj, during the early of 20th century. Vedic math helps us to do calculations fast. It keeps our mind alert. It improves our concentration. Let us see the magic of multiplication by the series of 9. Let us take an example, that is 678 multiplied by 999. The answers will be divided into two parts. Step 1. Subtract 1 from upper whole number, that is 678 minus 1 is equals to 677. This answer will come over here. Step 2. Subtract each digit of upper whole number from 9 and 1's place digit from 10. Therefore, 9 minus 6 is equals to 3. is equals to 2. 10 minus 8 is equals to 2. The answer is 322. This answer will come over here. The final answer is 6,77,322. Isn't Vedic math so easy?
History of Indian currency. Let's begin. The Indian rupee is the official currency of the Republic of India. The currency is issued and controlled by Reserve Bank of India. The name was derived from the Sanskrit word ropyakam, meaning silver. Earliest paper rupees issued by Bank of Hindustan in 1770. January 1938, first note of rupees 5 issued by Reserve Bank. 1950, first post independence coins issued in 1 pice, 1 and 2 annas and rupees 1 denomination. They were made in bronze. 1954, high denomination notes of rupees 1000, 5000 and rupees 10,000 reintroduced. 1957 to 1967, aluminium 1, 2, 3, 5 and 10 paisa coins introduced. 1988, stainless steel coins of 10, 25 and 50 paisa introduced. 2005 to 2008, new 50 paisa, rupees 1, rupees 2 and rupees 5 stainless steel coins introduced. In July 2010, Indian Cabinet finalized the design of rupee. Each bank note has its own amount written in 17 languages, English and Hindi in front and 15 others on the back. These are some old currencies. English and Hindi in front and 15 others on the back. These are some old currencies. These are some present currencies.
History of cookware. It is a journey of olden cookware. People use earthen utensils like this and this. People use firewood for cooking. When the time passed, people discovered metal such as steel, brass and iron. As all the things have been modernized, the cookware have also modernized. The materials used nowadays are better because they are light in weight and easy to cook. The cookware that comes nowadays are very convenient and very attractive. For example, non-stick pan, glass bowl and melamine plate.
Cave people hunt lot of animals, and that is one of cave front there is a small pot, and there is 2 ducks and lot of stones. After that, cave people can drink this fresh water. After that is come kacha house. Kacha house roof is made of grass and wood and twig. It is domestic animals are examples horse, hens, rabbits,
cows and small well and truck also. There is this kacha house. People can drink this well water. It's come here Pakka house. Pakka house brick is made of brick and cement. This is dry grass. We can relax in this dry grass. It is beautiful scenery. There is one car also. Here is building sky street. Here is a long road you can see. And here is a car and a bus. Here is a man. You can see a lot of windows. And there is 3 buildings. We can relax in buildings.
My name is Krishi Mathura from 3rd F. Room 13 and today I am presenting a Nirmaan project. My Nirmaan topic is cookware. Cookware means cooking vessel. We use this vessel for cooking food. We give varieties of material and vessels, for example, steel, iron, copper, clay, etc. In this project, we will discuss about the vessel using nowadays and vessels using in olden days. In olden days, people were using clay vessels for cooking food and even they eating clay vessels like plate, glass, and bowl, etc. Whereas nowadays people were using varieties of material like steel, iron, non-stick pan, etc. Now let's learn the difference between older vessels and new vessels. Clay take lot of time to heat and new vessels eats quickly. Proper cookware can tolerate high, but it has to be right, otherwise it can shatter. New cells cook on high flame and no risk of shattering. Iron is cup for cracking easily in clay vessels, no risk of cracks in new vessels. Clay are difficult to wash, so they're easy to wash. Nowadays we use non-stick pan for cooking. Thank you.
Hello friends, about the evolution of things, which dates back 160 years ago. The man who first put steam engine on the rails was a strong, tall and a Cornish man named Richard Trevithick, who built his Penitentiary tramp, whose wagons were pulled slowly by the horses in South Wales. Steam-powered locomotives were invented in early 1800s. A steam locomotive generally burned the coal to heat water and generate steam to move the piston up and down, which led to rotating of wheels. In 1850s, trains were being fitted with beautiful lights and toilets as the railway companies realized that more comfort they offer, the more they could charge. As the cities grew larger, streets was busy with horse carts, buses and cars. To reduce the traffic in big cities like London, railway was built underground beneath the city street, called as Underground Railways in 1863. From 1940s to 1960s, electric and diesel trains replaced steam power in many countries. An electric locomotive used electric motors to drive the wheels, and in the diesel locomotive, the diesel fuel is burned to generate and supply electricity to electric motors to turn the wheels. Today, most of our high-speed trains Superfast trains run on special tracks and travel very fast between major cities. In 1964, Japan introduced bullet train, which got its name from the bullet-shaped nose, which became the world's fastest train. The upcoming Ahmedabad-Mumbai bullet train corridor will be 508 km long high-speed train corridor and will be India's first bullet train corridor. It will be based on Japan technology, which will boost speed over 300 km per hour. In 2013, Elon Musk, the famed entrepreneur and CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, came up with an idea of Hyperloop. It is a steel tube with low air pressure through which a pod may travel free of air resistance. 140 km Hyperloop project in India has been proposed between Mumbai and Pune. This was the journey from steam engine to bullet train and to Hyperloop.
History of houses. Please have a look at my project. During prehistory age, humans used to stay in caves in wild habitat. Our ancestors used fire to safeguard themselves from wild animals. Human beings in ancient age stayed in huts made of wood, mud and hay. They stayed in small villages surrounded by similar huts and few families. Man domesticated animals like cows, horses, sheep to commute and for milk, etc. Now I will describe modern age. This is the current age where advances in science and technology made it possible to fabricate high towers and buildings. We have developed cars, airplanes, telephone for communication and traveling from one place to another. This is the brief history of houses. Hope you like my project. Thank you and stay safe.
History of cookware. In olden days, people used earthen cookware and earthen lamp like chula, sigri, ice stove. But in modern days, people use gas stove and electric heater and induction, etc. Earthen cookware, stoneware to make food in earthen water is very healthy. We can also store water in a earthen pot because it is very healthier and naturally cooled. Copper, bronze and brass cookware. They are called red metals. Copper, the most important product of copper is its ability to fight capability 99.9%. Aluminium and steel cookware. Aluminium. To use aluminium cookware is very harmful because it is release toxins which is not good for our health and our bones also. Steel is also not very good metal to use in cookware. Iron and cast iron. Iron is a good heat conductor to cook. Its cast iron is always better than iron because it is much thicker and heavier and helps to heat food evenly. Ceramic and glass. Ceramic cookware
cools little longer, which may help conserve energy, and it does not absorb food flavor.
New world of car. Automobile was first car invented in Germany and France in 1800s. These cars were invented in such a way that they ran on gas and electricity. These cars were called hybrid cars. Initial cars do not have windshields, doors and steering wheels. These cars are very expensive, and can you imagine how difficult it would be to drive such a car? The year 1886 is regarded as the birth year of the modern car. The first car that was widely available and accessible to public was Model T by Ford Motor Company in 1908, and this is the Model T. These cars were rapidly adopted and replaced animal-drawn carts. After the World War I, automobile production exploded in 1920 because of modern concepts like suburban living and road trips. That's why more advanced and comfortable car came for existence in 1930. At the end of the World War II in 1950, world saw the production of faster car. A car with AC, silent and automatic car became a standard feature in car. In 1960, German and Japanese companies built smaller car that attracted many buyers, and this is the small car that looks like. In 1980, world saw the rise of computer simulation, which leads to more dynamic design and performant automobiles. And this is an automobile that is with dynamic design, and I will show you how I made it. Hello friends, now I will show you how I am making a car. First, I use this fully recyclable cardboard to make my car. I cut the cardboard into the shapes of car with the help of scissors, and I stuck the pieces of car with the cardboard with the help of Fevicol. Now I will stick my remaining pieces of car. Let's continue. Finally, my car is ready, and I am going to stick the headlamps. In combination to more safety, cars today are faster, agile, fuel efficient and comfortable. As technology is advancing up, there are more advancements coming up in automobile. And this is a automobile which is faster, agile, fuel efficient and comfortable. So this was a brief history on evolution of cars.
Served in green leaves. Banana leaves. These are said to have antibacterial properties that can possibly kill the germs in food. It is most economical and inexpensive options to go for. Cooking in soil clay pot is way better than cooking in normal utensil and contains various health benefits. It is much simpler to cook and improves the quality of the food at the end. Clay causes heat and moisture to circulate throughout the clay pot. Cooking in copper vessel. This is the best metal for cooking rice. You can also store water overnight in a copper utensil and drink your first glass from this to enjoy the benefits of this wonderful metal. Copper rich food boosts collagen. It offers advantage of skin too. Brass utensils. Water can stored in a brass utensil. Increases strength and immunity. Increases hemoglobin count. Improves general condition of skin. Eating in silverware. It is cooling in nature as it is related to mood, so it is best for Peter personalities, anger issues. It helps down to cool down the temperament and your complexion. Even kajal must be stored in a silver container as ice predominantly Pita. It is because of the fire or agni as ice that we can see. Cooking and eating in bronze vessels. Beneficial especially for those who have nervous, dry skin temperament. Helps in reduce obesity, improves eyesight and skin condition. Cooking in steel. Stainless steel by itself is not a good heat conductor, so look for pans with copper or aluminium cores. Cheap stainless steel pots with copper or aluminium core, unevenly giving you hot spots. Glass bakeware. Cooking in glass bakeware has the advantage that it distributes more evenly, which will cause your food to likely cook at an even rate. But it doesn't heat up quickly, and once heated, then stay warm longer for a period of time. Once removed from the oven. Heating in ceramic. They are in danger of cracking if you drop from height. Poor thermal conductivity. This is the best cookware in our generation, aware and again using this cookware.
Will represent board game. But before that I will explain what is board game, and in that I will explain first Chopat, ancient Ludo, second Easter game and modern Ludo game. Board game are traditionally a subset of tabletop game that involve piece or counter move or spell on per mark board. Now I will explain what is Chopat. It is also known as Chopat. Chopat is claimed to be a version of the game to dice played in the epic poem Mahabharata between Kaurav and Pandav. It is cross and circle board game. The board is made of cloth with wooden pawns. It is somewhere similar to modern Ludo. After that, another ancient version of Ludo is Easter game. It is also a board game played by 4 players. It is still being played in part of India. Cowrie cells are used as dice in Easter game like Chopan. Now I will explain a Ludo. Was introduced in the year 1896, which we all are love to play. Chopan game is modified in Ludo. In this board game, colors with bright yellow, red, green and blue. Each player in a specific color, and dice is used to start the game. I hope you like my explanation about board game. Thank you.
Is one of the fundamental requirement for every human being. With food and clothing, it protects human beings from wild animals, nature disasters, and changing climatic conditions. It is a comfortable place for a person where one can rest and revive. In Stone Age, before man knew how to build shelters, they lived in caves. Man slowly learned ways or tools that will allow them to build better structures. Then they started living in tent house, and after mud house, and lastly, when modern era came, man started living in modern buildings.
Of pen.
In around 3000 BCE, the Egyptians created reed pen. This is called a reed pen. After this, in around 600, the quill pen was invented. In Europe, this is called a quill pen. After this, in 1803, after the invention of steel, the first metal pen invented by Brian Donkin. This is called a ink pen. After some time, the ink pen looked like this. After this, in 1931, the ballpoint pen was invented by Laszlo Bino. This is called ballpoint pen. After some time, ballpoint pen looked like this. This is called ball pen. There are many pens in the market, like fountain pen and this pen. So there is many pens present in the market.
Jallianwala Bagh on April 30, 1919, the Baisakhi Day, a meeting of freedom fighters was scheduled at Jallianwala Bagh. Brigades entered into the Bagh. They started firing into the Bagh. 20 minutes, 379 people was killed and 1,200 people was injured. People jumped into the well to save their life, but they could not save their life.
Evolution process is over 7 million years of evolution. The traces of human evolution have been obtained through causal records and morphological, physiological and neurological studies. The man belongs to the family of hominids. is believed to have originated in Africa, eventually migrated in Europe, Asia, and the rest of the world. Man originated in several stages. First stage is Dryopithecus. It is the earliest known ancestor of man. This is Dryopithecus. This is skeleton of Dryopithecus. Second stage is Australopithecus. They were 1.2 meter tall and could walk upright. This is Australopithecus. This is skeleton of Australopithecus. Stage 3. Homo habilis. They were 5 feet tall and could make use of tools. They are believed to have been able to speak. This is typical Homo habilis. This is skeleton of typical Homo habilis. This is 4. Homo erectus. They were more evolved beings. They were also upright and had a larger brain size. This is typical Homo erectus. This is skeleton of typical Homo erectus. Stage 5. Homo sapiens. They are modern men. They developed the power of thinking. This is typical Homo sapiens. This is skeleton of typical Homo sapiens. By this I end my topic for Nirmaan on human evolution. Hope this enhances your knowledge about this topic. Cooking means applying heat to the food. It is transferring energy from the heat source to the food. Eating cooked food allows us to spend less time in chewing and digesting. The oldest form of cooking was basically fire roasting. Mud chulas were used by people in ancient days. Here we see a mud chula made out of mud. It has 3 openings, one in the front and 2 on the top. Here you see the front side is used to put wood sticks or branches to set fire and generate heat. The closed structure helps to contain the heat and pass through these holes where the vessels are placed to cook the food. The heat generated cooks the food through a slow process which enriches the taste of the food. After mud chula, soft coal and hard coal in furnace was used to cook food and for heating purpose. Electricity came into use in a big way through electric heaters, etc. for cooking. With the finding of gases, kerosene stoves became popular in most households. Therefore, after LPG gas burners became most important and popular means of cooking, which is used till date. A gas burner has 2, 3 or 4 outlets to cook food, and heat can be controlled by these knobs. The latest methods of cooking are oven, electric tandoor, microwave, hot plate, etc. have made our life extremely comfortable. Eco-friendly ways, solar cookers have been a great invention by the humans. In the busy lifestyle in the current era, these modern ways have given us freedom for anytime cooking.
Fire was the first step towards cookware. String was the starting point for cookware. Earlier prepared out of mud and clay. The humans started exploring metalware for cooking. Copper
Human used many tools as weapons to hunt and protect himself, and at times for criminal activities too. Initially, he used bones to make weapons. Let's see how these weapons look like. Later, human developed weapons like bow and arrow, sword, axe, etc. Later, human developed armor to protect themselves from enemies. That humans started using animals and to form army. As human progressed, there was change in his weapons too, like weapons made of wood, metal and so on. In World War, human developed small arms and were used in Second World War. By the end of last century, human develops weapons of mass destruction. Changes, the type of weapons do change. Now for war we use helicopters, tanks, drone, etc. like these. Now human develops robot and drones for defense like below.
Evolution of the city Palace Udaipur. A gentle amalgam of constructive ability and wealthy heritage.
clock or watch is an essential part of everyone's life as it represents time. And you all know time is the essence of life. But do you know the history of a clock is as old as 3500 BC? Let's see. This is a picture of a sundial. The sundial was the very first device mankind used to tell time. The Egyptians were the first to create and use this device. Sundial was invented at about 2500 BC. Sundial worked by creating a shadow from the sun that was used to line up with the line written at the certain time of the day. This is a picture of a water clock. Water clock was invented by the Persians in 328 AD. The water clock is a type of device that involves water pouring into or out from a pole through a small hole constantly. The time the water constantly travels is then measured to be put into time. This is a picture of a candle clock. Candle clock, invented by the Chinese in 520 AD. A candle clock works by having either a wax candle or a stick of incense starting at a certain height and melts to a lower height. This tells how long it has been since the time it has been lit by measuring its height. This is a picture of an hourglass clock. Hourglass clock, invented in France in the year 1338. The hourglass clock involves an amount of fine sand pouring through a small hole constantly in a certain amount of time. The sand was contained in a glass jar like an object in the shape of an 8. This was one of the most popular methods of telling time that does not involve any mechanical parts. This is a picture of a pendulum clock. The pendulum clock was invented in 1656. It was powered by a swinging pendulum to keep time. Nowadays, people use the quartz clock or atomic clock.